It's Thursday. It's GunSlingerz. Arsenal spent the most, but is it enough? Let's discuss. Yeah. Evening all. Flipping it.
Why is King's intro so saucy, man? And why am I spinning around?
I know. He's done that before, isn't he? He's done it before, isn't he?
Yeah, it's pre-planned, isn't it? Mine was last minute. Allow it. I need to get a suit and do it again.
Come on now, look. Swig.
I like it. You can see he's not camera shy, is he, this guy? Well, guys, listen. Obviously, James, Gunner Kings, great to have you guys on. Wow. So, transfer deadline D-Day is over. The window's over. Now, our squad should be settled. We've got a couple of weeks until next game. Little squad. Well, as much as we can get things together. They had a game, didn't they, against Brentford behind closed doors, which we won 4-0, playing a new system. But what we want to know, we spent the most.
Why didn't we do that when it mattered?
We spent the most, but is it enough? Right? And listen, we got spanked in our last game against Man City, and we actually got. I would say, even though the scoreline doesn't suggest it, we got spanked at home against Chelsea, really, because I don't think we was ever in that game, to be fair. But look, we can't grumble now. We've now made our signings. Squad's in. King, I'm going to ask you the question first off. We spent the most, mate. You know, we got all these clubs bantering us about how much money we spent on the players that we've got. Is it enough?
Right, so yes and no.
Okay.
It's the long and short answer. Look, we're not a team like, say, United or Chelsea that needed one or two players to make an already competitive squad more competitive. We were a team that is in the mud, that needed a right back, that needed cover at left back, that needed a goalkeeper, that needed at least one centre mid, and that needed at least one creative midfielder. And I'm going to add a striker to that, which we didn't get, by the way.
Yeah.
So when you consider that we did that, all of the other parts, those five, I mean, when you consider, when you like the net initial outlay, I think is 129 million, but it's just under 150 or 60 that we spent.
Yeah.
How many teams in the world, top teams, are you saying are getting 5 players for 160 million pounds? Like Sancho, Varane, and who else did they get? Ronaldo, yeah.
Some guy from Portugal, some Portuguese called Ronaldo.
Some Portuguese. I've heard he's quite good.
Yeah, he's not bad actually. He's not bad in the end. He's got a good right foot.
I mean, yeah, they paid over 100 million for like 3 players. Do you know what I mean? Look, a good player in this market's for 40 odd million. So look, we know where we are. We know that we can't attract world-class players at the moment. We know that the best alternative is to buy very good young players on the up and develop them, let them learn and improve. We've only got 1 game a week, really, in the league this season to contend with. So we're kind of going back to the old school, back to the roots, where it all started, just picking up these young players on the up and bringing them in and developing them. And look, I think these players are not bad, but everyone's honing in on the fact that We didn't get a recognised kind of a Basuma or a Madison or a we didn't go shopping at Real Madrid or Barcelona. Well, we did go shopping at Real Madrid. You get what I mean, right? Yeah, we did. We didn't sign someone in their prime from a top team. And look, we know that. Look, I wanted us to get a Basuma. I wanted us to get a Madison. I do feel and I do agree with rival fans when they say that you do need a bit of quality and you do need a bit of experience. And I am concerned that we haven't done that. But are these players that we sign bad players? No, they're not. I don't care what anyone says. They're not bad players. Not a single one of them.
No, I get what you're saying. I'm going to temper that though, right? With so you would say before the transfer window started, our remit basically was probably in no particular order of what was needed. Maybe a goalkeeper, right back, centre midfielder, and an attacking midfielder, right? Yeah. What position didn't we cover?
Well, the thing is, we covered a centre midfielder because we got Lokonga, and
also as well, I know this is not a popular choice. I know. So sorry, King. I'm going to come to you, James, with this. I know it's not a popular choice, but Xhaka was supposed to go, but he's not. So that basically killed any chance of another centre midfielder coming in. Mm-hmm. Right. Love him or hate him or whatever. He's now with us for another 3 years or so. We've got Lokonga in. Time's going to tell with him. I think the best 11, I would say that possibly Arteta could probably feel that will be Partey and Lokonga in the middle. However, I think he'd probably do Partey and Xhaka. But did we not address all the options that we needed to address?
We were never gonna. You can question who we brought in, but the fact that we've addressed so many issues, I think people were not taking into consideration the outlay that we've done and the talent that we've got. Like, the only person you can really question is Ramsdale. But apart from that, we've made 5 very astute signings that are promising. And I'm not even disclosing Ramsdale. I think Ramsdale can become a good goalie.
He's decent. He looks decent. He looks comfortable on the ball.
He shot a lot of people up against West Brom as well.
Yeah, he did.
He did. And to be fair, that was his debut, and you're going to be nervous, right? So I think he started just a little wobbly, but then I thought he was quite assured, to be fair.
Yeah. I don't know. I think everyone's blowing the Granit Xhaka situation out of proportion. It doesn't help what he did against City. Again, inexcusable. But come on, right? Like, are we expecting any different from him? No.
I guess the blessing in disguise is that we don't have him for 3 games.
Yeah, well, yeah, but even that, right? The whole contract situation, people were blowing it completely out of proportion. Like, if we didn't extend his contract this year, he'd have 1 year left, right?
Yep.
So essentially, we're in exactly the same position next summer as we are this summer. We've only given him a year's extension, which still gives him 2 years on his contract. Right?
I guess then, what does a contract mean nowadays?
I think we've extended it more than that, haven't we?
Nah. So he's got 3. He's got 3 for an option of a 4th. So it's a 3 plus 1, but he was still on a 2. So that's a year's extension plus another one. So we've technically only given him a year's contract extension, if that makes sense. So it's not 3 on top of the 2. It's 3 as a new contract. So it's just an additional year. Basically. So everyone's like, I get it. People are upset about the contract situation, right? But I didn't want to sell Granit Xhaka for £12 million.
No.
Let's be honest, right? He's worth more than what Roman were taking the piss with, right? They bought Tammy Abraham for 40 million, but they didn't.
So they had the money. It's not like they was.
They were trying to take the piss. Like Mourinho can do one for all I care, right? I would have liked to have gotten rid of him, yes, but the fact of the situation is he's not had a good start to the season. But last season was arguably his best or one of his best seasons in an Arsenal shirt, and people don't like to admit it. And then you have a good Euros.
Yeah,
like By extent, if we can't get somebody in, there's no point in selling him for that little of a fee when you're not going to get anyone close to his quality for that price.
Yeah.
Although we wanted him out, if you look at it logically, it's not as bad as people are making out to be. I think it's just blown completely out of proportion. And if he can do what he did last season, I think he had, as I said, a very underrated season. He went under the radar by not getting in trouble, not really making that many mistakes, just playing games. And he played a lot of games for us, like a lot.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think next season it's time to move him on. But for this season, we just got to make do.
I think you're bang on there, James, because I think had we got a decent price for Xhaka, we would have gone in for a Basuma or someone else, and use that money that we actually got for Xhaka to put towards someone else. I think that's probably what may have happened. Say if we got 20 for Xhaka, then we would have put in a £40 million bid for Basuma or something like that. Just gonna rack up some of the chats are coming in. RCBN, how you doing? Big up. Bad winner for Arsenal, in my opinion. I like the youngsters, but not ready. I mean, let's see.
Time will tell.
I think we had by all accounts, we did have a tough start, right? Listen, you got to look at it like this. We played Brentford Friday night, first game of the season. They've come up. Crowds are now back into the stadiums. Crowds are going to be going nuts, going to be up for it. And you could see there, I mean, anything could kind of like happen in that kind of scenario. And I guess for us, the worst case scenario did happen. And Chelsea and Man City, I mean, the European champions and the league champions. I mean, obviously disappointed with the City result, but I guess those two games show how much of a golfing class there is between the two teams. But having said that, if we get our first 11 together that Arteta wants and a system that he can and is comfortable with the players comfortable with, then I think that we could be in. I don't know. You never know. But look, I'm going to route through these. RCBN, cheers, bro. Mr. Silver Fox, what's happening? I wonder what he's laughing for. Anyone?
Probably the intro, I guess.
Probably, yeah. Very good. What match? Yeah. Sorry, yeah. I should actually turn that off. I'll do that now.
What's the last year's playing?
It's an England game.
Yeah, England game. But very much. From Gems, just be glad you spent money. Patience, I guess. I'm from a Liverpool fan. I totally get that because they
kept on the dinner lady, didn't they? They extended it.
Yeah, who made that tweet up? Was it who put the dinner lady in the picture and made that was their signing? That was quality. That was
one of my mates went one further, man. He did the whole yellow bar thing, man. So he made a fictitious Sky Sports yellow bar story.
Oh wow!
With his United top on,
Oh my god!
Announcing the unveiling of the dinner lady.
My God,
I was crying real tears.
They should have put that. They should have started off by saying inquiry made. Gems, the money debate is in regard to players' levels, but at least you got the deals done without messing about with trying to haggle. I mean, I think we did mess about a bit, and I think I would like the business to have been done earlier. Any thoughts on that, guys, at all with that?
Yeah, I'd agree. I think not just that as well. There's clearly been a lot of confusion in this window. Yeah. You look at Maitland-Niles on the last day of the season. Is he staying? Is he going? And then
what do you make of that?
Oh, guys? Dude, honestly, it's just totally unprofessional from Maitland-Niles. But Ozil, Guendouzi, a few players have come out and said, look, there's been a lack of communication on whether I'm staying or going. So I do think there's not smoke without fire. Obviously, players are going to throw their toys out the pram when they're not being picked, when they're not in the squad. Yep. But I do think it's too many players that have said the management haven't handled those situations properly,
right?
For there not to be any sort of reason to give Ainsley Maitland-Niles a bit of benefit of the doubt, but he still handled the whole situation totally unprofessionally. Obviously, we know his agent has got a history of doing this with the likes of Reece Oxford. and a few other people as well. So clearly got poor representation around him.
Let me ask you this then, both of you. I mean, as a professional, right? If you're trying to leave somewhere, okay, because you're not being given a chance, okay, let me go somewhere where I can play.
Yeah.
Why not? Why are you keeping me hostage here, James? I mean, from a professional footballer standpoint, I mean, does he not have like? Can you not understand his frustration? Where his frustration is coming from?
Yeah, there is understanding. Like, if he's not getting game time and he's not progressing, it's not that what he said is wrong. It's the manner in what he did it is the issue. If he would have put out like a public statement, like an Instagram post, like properly thought out, explaining the situation, saying, "Look, I'm not playing football. I've had an offer from Everton. I really like to go on loan to develop and eventually see what happens." Right? A well thought out post, fine, completely understandable. That's written by like a public publishing company that professionally done. Right? You see people that are scripted in the way that they speak, so it doesn't ruin their image, right?
But I don't think it's that bad. I don't think it. For me, it shows a human side to it because
it does, but it's.
It makes us look.
I don't
like
think he's a bad person. Wanting to play football, I don't think he's not a bad thing.
No one's doubting that. But look, sorry, man. Like, look, this is your employer, and you've been there since a kid. They gave you your shot in professional football. Kids wake up in the morning and dream to be in his position, right? Yeah. We as fans love this club. It's an institution.
It doesn't give the club the right to treat them like that, to treat them as hostage.
Respectfully,
he's under contract.
No one's treating him as a hostage. Look, Canners, Everton offered a 2-year loan deal, with no obligation to buy, and his contract ends in 2 years.
Yeah, it's a joke. What they offered was a
bad
joke.
offer. It's not a good offer. The club haven't said you can't go. They've just said if Everton offer them the correct money, we won't stand in your way. So if we had put 30-40 million on the table and we had said no and still not played
different story,
a bit more. But he knows how football goes. Yeah. And that's what, like, my previous point that I was just trying to make stand. Not only is he playing for Arsenal Football Club, but we gave him a chance from a kid, right? So we have given him a chance to realize his dreams, and regardless of whether or not he wants to play football, that is not how you treat this institution, man. Not like, I'm sorry, like, nah. Disrespectful, man.
I don't know. I am not at the moment. I'm not. I actually, with a few things, with a few players, I can't feel that sympathetic towards Arsenal as an institution at the moment, with my feelings of how certain things are going on. From the way Ozil was dropped, the way Guendouzi was dealt with, the way Saliba's been dealt with. There's a few things going on there behind the scenes, and but I guess that's another story. What
the
I want
difference
to do,
with all those situations is they weren't going nuclear and going public, like airing their grievances. There was a lot of talking that was done behind closed doors. All right, Guendouzi sent party shots when he's gone. Ozil sent party shots when he's gone. He's going to do a DVD when he's gone. And look, fair play. You want to tell all after you're gone, that's fine. But as long as you're employed by this club, you've got to show a bit of respect. And look, I empathise with his situation. I'd sooner play him than most of our right backs right now.
Yeah, definitely Cedric Bellerin.
Most of us are mid right now.
But I think all I'm going to say is that on it, I just think it's a two-way street, basically.
Absolutely.
But you're right. I mean, if the bid wasn't nowhere near what we wanted, then refuse it, and he's got to understand that. KRB, hey, how you doing, sir? What's happening? You good? And Mr. Silver Fox, James is bang on. That was referring to Exactly. Solo 7 saying, yes, my guys, yes, from United Agenda. Big up yourself. 150. We'll show you in a minute, mate. We'll show you in a minute.
Well, these guys they're carrying on like no CDM and just vibes.
Yeah, exactly. You have to trust the process. You will get your season back up and running within the next few games. It looks bad at the moment, but you are Arsenal Football Club and you will bounce back. That's the thing. Look, we are Arsenal Football Club and we have to bounce back. We have to make sure we get it right. whether that is with Arteta or another manager. We have the players now till January. Nothing can be done till then. So let's work with it. Let's hope that Arteta can find some kind of magic formula or whatever, and let's move on. Jake Clegg, how you doing? What's happening? Evening. What's happening? Gems again. I mean, as in have patience like we did. Klopp took 5 years to build us up. I'm cool with the window. Konate is a decent signing. Yeah, he is.
That's
I mean,
look,
yeah, he is
renewing contracts as well, because we did that as well. With
Yeah,
a few other players, and I want to add that in.
100%.
And it's the same with Liverpool, right? They've tied down some very good players on longer term contracts. People aren't talking about that. They're just talking about, oh, we spent 150 million on some kids. Oh yeah, but we renewed Tierney's contract. And ESRs kept stopping from going Aston Villa. Saka, Martinelli, they've all been tied down. So,
but it's from Lisa, 150 million, and I was initially underwhelmed as missed previous year's excitement of a big name. We've had the worst start, but I'm confident it will come good. I think, Lisa's bang on there. I think if I was to rate the actual window, I would say probably 6.5, whatever. I think because it is underwhelming.
Can I counteract that point? 1 sec.
Yeah, no, please do.
I think people are underestimating the impact this window is going to have for us as a club in 3 seasons. There's been so many times where we thought we had a good window. Yeah, we signed Pepe, good window. Yay, we signed Thomas Partey, good window, right? What did it get us? 8th and 8th. These players, I would much rather have a transfer window which is underwhelming to me when my team performs better. I will judge you, and I will judge the signings not based on your name, but based on the fact on how you perform. So I think it's a nice change for me. I'm so sick of us pulling a fast one and saying we need 8 positions. Oh, but we signed Willian, Gabriel, and but we got Thomas Partey on deadline day, right?
Yeah.
The bulk of what we have done in this window, in a numbers perspective, and getting 6 bodies in, it's so better in terms of
in positions that we needed.
The thing is as well, the windows that James has described. Like when we signed Pepe, we needed a centre back, arguably a midfielder, and some attacking midfielders as well. Yeah, we blew all of our money on Pepe, so then we was like, we did need a defender, didn't we? And we spent 9 million on Luis. Whereas this time we've kind of even killed it a lot more and gone, yes, there are 5 or 6 positions that we need to nail down some quality in. So we're going to get, and we haven't signed any Chelsea rejects, which I don't think is overstated.
So even Drogba's bantering us flips.
Yeah, I know, yeah. And the thing is as well, these are all, I think the oldest player that we signed is 24.
23.
23 even.
Wow. Yeah, even Ben White turned 24 soon, but yeah, genuinely 23 and under.
There you go. So you look, these are all guys now we're signing guys
within the next 3 to 4 years.
Prime of their life, I keep mentioning this. I know I've mentioned it on a few of our streams. I'm going to keep hammering the point home. Danny Welbeck, the last 27-year-old or younger player that we signed from an English club that is actually English. So we've got a bit of a core going on there with English players as well. You got your Ramsdale, you got your Ben White there as well. Mm-hmm. So look,
let's see if we can get a system together that works for them. By all accounts, we played a 3 at the back. We played a 3-4-3. And
Gabriel and Ben White play together as well.
Exactly, with Tommy Yasu as well, apparently played, I think. So look, I just want to focus on listen, because not only did we bring players in, loads went out. So there's some names there. Obviously, right, a lot of them are out on loan. So Joe Willock, obviously, and Torreira, they're the ones where we got fees for. The others, Willian is gone. Guendouzi, I mean, he's pretty much gone for a loan to a future fee. Saliba, I mean, hopefully this will be a big season for him, and he comes back to us if he wants to come back to us, and he adds that more still for us. Iliev, loan. Nelson, this is a huge season for him. For Feyenoord. A Feyenoord in the they must be in Europe, aren't they? I don't think they're in the Champions League, though, are they? I think they're in Europa.
I believe they're in Europa. I'm not too sure, but
yeah, Renarsson had to go. Bellerin had to go. Luiz is gone. Odegaard, obviously, we've got him back in. That wasn't included in this list here. We've got Odegaard back in. Ceballos and obviously Ryan, both their loans ended. So there's a lot of players that had to go, and I think with everything, there are still some more that need to go. But in order of balancing the books and everything, it was must that if you look at those players there who are on big money, we're talking about William, we're talking about GunSlingerz is on a sizable amount. Obviously Bellerin as well, and David Luiz, Ceballos as well. So they're all on big money, and those kind of things. Fair enough, we bought those players in, but they're on nowhere near the kind of money that these guys are on. Nowhere near. Maybe Ben White, maybe the only one who's anything near those kind of numbers. Any thoughts on? Do you think those players will right to have gone? Anyone there you're thinking?
The first thing that I do want to mention very quickly is a lot of those have obligations or options to buy as well. So I think Torreira, he'll probably go. Bellerin's got that attached to his name. Guendouzi's got that attached to his name. So this is all money back end that we should be seeing going into next window. So it's a
win-win. It's off the wages, and fair enough, we will get money for the player eventually.
Every single one of those loans would have come with a small fee, come what may, which boosts the coffers a bit. And what will happen is, instead of next season going into it and thinking, damn, I've got so much dead wood I still got to get rid of, it will be a case of, well, now we're cashing in on the dead wood we got rid of last season. So you add those up, you're going to get a 30, 40, 50 million.
Yep.
And you collect all the fees on them anyway, and you're going to get them off the wage bill. So it allows you to go again next summer. And look, I think that's what this is. This is a couple of windows of just like moving and shaking, as it were.
Yep.
And then I think that will allow for bigger, more marquee stellar signings next season.
Well, that will only come if we actually make Europe.
Yeah, we need stellar signings. And I think, like King said as well, like a lot of these players are obligations, options to buy. And even those that are coming back, like say if Bellerin doesn't come back, right? I think he has a year left on his contract. Same with Leno. There's the same with like a lot of players running down their contract that we want to see leave the club. It's not great from a selling perspective, right? But it's kind of forcing our hand to react to what we need to do. It's you're either going to go or we're not going to recoup what we need to from these players. Especially like Kolasinac is gone next year. We couldn't sell him, obviously, which is a bit bad. But, like our hand is going to be forced. And you've seen over the past 3 windows even when Emery came in, like how many players we've had to gut. It's taken us 3 seasons pretty much just to get rid of the players that were really rotting the club, and we still have players we need to get rid of, right? So I know we haven't spent a lot of money, and that's what we really needed to see a big turnover in like getting rid of out and bringing quality in. But
I mean, there was talk of 250 mil at one point.
Yeah, well, that's paper. We spent a lot of money still, right?
But we're going to sell like 3
or 4. Well, but you've seen essentially, don't call me stupid, but this is the best position our squad has been in on paper for such a long time. I'm not talking about, you can question the starting quality of the 11 and this kind of thing, but I'm talking players that are the right age, players that are the right profile, and players that have the best potential. Like we have a really young team
rather than behind them.
I'd much rather be in this position where we have a young, people are questioning our decisions and questioning our squad ability, right? Because they're too young, they're inexperienced. I'd rather have that than we have players that are past their prime and can't offer us anything and we can't recoup anything. So I don't know, but hopefully Nelson does bang Spurs out.
That'll be super.
They're not winning anyway.
Why not? Must be in the conference. What I wanted to say very quickly though, like a last thing on this note, right? A lot of these rival fans have been talking like, and they've been saying things along the lines of, I'm making a series on my TikTok of this, like where we're talking about it. A lot of fans have been saying Arsenal deserve everything that they get for chasing Wenger out of town, basically, right? And what we need to recognize is, yes, in his formative years, he was very good at finding these kind of players, identifying these players south of their prime, taking them into their prime, and then if he lost one or two, he was getting money. The difference is, at that time, we weren't reinvesting that money. Yeah.
What he did then, was nothing short of a miracle to get players like Anelka for 500k and then sell him for 23.5 million, things like that.
But towards the end, right, when you look at Mustafi, 8 of the 11 players that played against City were Wenger players, right? When you look at your Kolasinac, he was on over 100 grand a week. For what? Mustafi, similar thing. For what? Yeah, like, you know, like you look at who else we've got rid of this summer. You know, you look at the players that we've signed in the last few years that were Wenger players. The other thing that I pointed out was that Wenger and Ferguson had always worked on what's known as the outlier model. So you've got like an executive board member that works next to you, and they do everything: contract negotiations, like transfer negotiations, all that jazz.
They were the last of their breed, though.
Yeah, but like Wenger would be more involved in the contracts he was offering because he would be emotionally invested in wanting to buy a player. So he would be offering over market rate value in wages. You know, he would be going to Kolasinac and saying to the executive board members, look, we're not paying a transfer fee for him, so we might as well pay a bit more over the odds and the wages. And that's why we can't get rid of him right now.
Yeah.
You know, so
I heard that. I mean, that's a really kind of, you know, that is a very, very good point.
We need a director of football.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, well, we need a good director of football, and that's what we bloody need.
Ralph
I'm just gonna. Sorry,
I was gonna say Ralph Ragnick, or I think that's his name.
Yeah,
I know the guy you're on about. Yeah. We need someone proven, basically. Just gonna crack on with some of these comments and then get on to the next segment, basically. I think this is the Joker's Burners account. I think this must be the England game everyone's speaking about. Just about whether the manager can take this squad forward. I believe he cannot.
Yeah, and
that is the question. That is the question.
I'm starting to agree now.
Yeah, I listen. He's.
I'll be honest.
Let's see if he stumbles upon, because he seems to always do it in little kind of pockets of the season. Where he stumbles on a formation that kind of works, but then one team then finds it out how to play against it, and then everyone else just plays the same way, and we don't evolve or anything. Okay, they're in so let's hopefully then Nelson to eliminate Spurs. That'll be lovely. I would love it. So look, I mean, we obviously with the Armoury, we put out a few tweets and everything, basically on this subject, and we, you know, with the positive here, you know, fees were paid for Ramsdale and Ben White, suggest we feel we'll get longevity out of them. Tavares was cheap cover for left back, which we needed. We all know that. Sambi and Tommy, relatively low fees, but young enough to improve. Odegaard, we're banking on to have an impact now as well as developing, and you can't really argue with that, can you? I mean, we've covered pretty much all bases, and to a point where there is a lot of development, a lot of scope for improvement, and the time, you know, if we might do something crazy and come like 6th or 5th or something like that, you know, it's not beyond the realms of possibility.
Do you know how I feel about Odegaard? Genuinely, right?
Yep.
If one of the top 4 clubs needed an attacking midfielder, which they don't, because they're all very well stacked in that area. If one of the top 4 clubs goes and gets Odegaard for 30 million, everyone's talking about the great business.
Yeah.
100%. Everyone's talking about how great a transfer that is. It's just because it's Arsenal and everyone's expecting us to make big moves, like to get the big boys in now. Yeah. It's just like, oh, well, what's he going to do for you? I mean, literally, the guy was our biggest chance creator since January.
I think you know what? I actually was at first a bit kind of Odegaard at first, but I think you know what? I think it will work for him. at the club. And you know what? Never know, if we do a mad thing or whatever and somehow get fourth in some Champions League football, who knows, man, what holds. You never know. We might hit him and Haaland together.
even if even if it doesn't necessarily work out, he's holding his value.
Yeah.
The reason why he cost 30 million and the reason why Varane only cost 40 million is because of the new Real Madrid wage bill constraint, yeah, as per like the Liga earn rules, yeah. So if you've got to get rid of assets to keep your wage bill below a cap, that basically creates a necessity to sell that player. So that's probably chipped off. They were looking to sell him for 50 million. What we did, we waited it out. Now I understand it a bit more. Like everyone's like, why didn't we just go for Odegaard straight away? And it's like, no, you make them wait that out a bit.
Make them sweat.
So it's like, we can't get rid of him. Shit, what's going to happen? We can't register him. Then he's going to be eating our wages and sat on the bench. Boom. Then you come in.
Yeah.
And I agree. I think, you can clip me up, you call me deluded. I genuinely think Odegaard has the potential to be the best cam in world football. At some point in his career, I think he has the potential to reach that level. It's not going to be soon, but you've seen glimpses of like at Real Sociedad, Martin Odegaard was one of the best attacking midfielders on the planet.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Real Madrid were looking for 70 million, 60 million pounds, right? We've seen glimpses of it on his short tenure in the team. And when he came in, how good did we look? How much did we improve, right? Now he's in for a full season. I don't know. He just looks...
I genuinely think, like everyone talks about our turn of fortunes happening from when Smith Rowe went in the game versus Chelsea, and nowhere near enough talk is being done about when he came in at the end of January because of two things. One, him coming in allowed for rotation of Smith Rowe. And two, when they played together, it brought up the quality and the quantity of chance creation for the other players. Right?
I can see if given the proper freedom, if given the proper freedom, and if we do get a confident system playing with the team, playing with confidence, I'm sure we'll see the performance that he gave against West Ham as being the norm. That kind of performance. Where he drove the team on, he picked the ball up, and he was making everything happen. That game for me was a standout game for that I have with Odegaard. When he came through, when he just literally just drove us on. Here we go. Terrible window. It's okay signing for the future, but we are bottom of the league now with no real changes to starting line.
I disagree with this quite a bit.
Another thing people are running away with and getting lost in the sourcing, is look, we did miss, between 4 to 6 players for every one of our 3 first games, our main ones. When we brought the average age of the squad down, we drove that down by getting rid of the older, more experienced players. And now, Brentford, we didn't even have it. We put Balogun up front, who is his first major competitive game. We've gone away. Brentford in a new stadium, they're up for it. I'm not making excuses.
No.
It's the perfect storm. Perfect storm.
Yeah,
exactly. That's exactly. It was just a recipe basically for disaster. And
no
Sky were just obviously rubbing their hands with glee, knowing
go to any team. Right? We were missing both of our centre backs. Right, Ben White played against Brentford, but then against Chelsea and Manchester City, we missed Gabriel and Ben White. So there's our 2 centre backs. You got Partey out, so that's your main midfielder, and then you've got Lacazette and Aubameyang out. So you've got your 2 main strikers out, your main central midfielder out, your 2 main centre backs out, and that's like the spine of your whole team. Plus, those strikers are your most experienced players. Yeah. They're your leaders. Lacazette and Aubameyang are your captain and your vice captain.
100%. No, I agree with you.
Any team, even a Liverpool, a Chelsea, whatever, and you say, right, you've got
to take out Van Dijk, and what do you get?
We'll take out 2 of your main centre backs. We'll take out your main midfielder, and we'll take out your 2 main strikers. Now you go cook.
I think it's also
against Europe's champions and England's champions. Sorry, I just had to sneak that in there. Sorry.
Yeah, it's all good. No, I think in terms of the I think everyone needs to relax, including myself, right? Because I was emotional after the City game and I was pissed off. But in context, saying that we haven't really addressed the starting 11 right. For me, our starting 11 contains a lot of these players. Like for me, I play Ramsdale over Leno. I don't see why you spend that money. And Leno hasn't been good. I don't think he had a reasonable game against Chelsea. Looked shoddy against Brentford. Looked shoddy against City. I mean, left back Gentini, Gabriel, Ben White, new signing. The Bologna right back we just signed.
Tomiyasu.
Yeah,
well, he looks good. You know,
he looks really good for the system we're trying to play. Smart signing, right? So I think. I know Arteta wants to run Xhaka, but yeah, well, we'll go into this. He's really good. I saw a statistic as well, like in terms of like the inverted wing back role, like Kyle Walker, Cancelo, and that. He's really high up in the charts for the right.
He's naturally both-footed.
He is really good, and I think in terms of that as well. Like if you're going back to the original tweet, like that's 5, like. 5 players, right? Yeah, that one. So again, it's Ramsdale, Ben White, Tomiyasu, Lokonga, Odegaard, right? That's 5 new players in that 11, essentially. If you want to continue, Odegaard is not a new signing, but he is. You know what I mean? Like contextually, that's a lot of players in the starting 11.
Tomiyasu was only dribbled past 13 times last season in the whole Serie A season.
Wow,
insane! Like, and he likes to get forward. He's played anywhere across the back line. So he's played as a centre back in a back four. He's played in a back.
He's a strong lad. He's 6'2". He's strong.
He's good in the air. But technically he's good with both his feet.
He is.
Well. He's got goals in him as well. I've seen a few goals.
He's got a banger. That top bin, like rocket.
That top bins one against AC Milan with his left head.
Yes, rocket.
He's standing on, is it? Against Donnarumma.
Oh,
isn't he one of the best keepers in the world at the moment?
Yeah. If not the
Arsenal have signed shit players.
Let's see how they integrate. I mean, this is the last one of the tweets. Okay, so harsh facts basically are that we can't compete for the players Man City, Chelsea, and Man United go for. Okay, we've tried snapping up their deadwood, and that hasn't worked at all. Next option is to buy lower level experienced players with no sell-on value. Experienced players with no sell-on value. We've tried that. Obviously, next option is to buy lower level, and I think that the lower level I would say that we probably are going for is the lower level teams, but their best players.
Yeah. All the good teams like Juventus do it, Bayern do it, right? Where they take quality from the lower teams in the league, right?
Liverpool did it with
Southampton. They literally raided
they did
Mane,
it
Van Dijk.
at Inter. They Salah and Roma. Liverpool did it with those players. They weren't nowhere near their level that they are now. They've just been allowed to flourish on a bigger stage, and with a manager that believes in them. And I think that's now where we are. Liverpool then were probably maybe a little bit above us where they were then. But now this is what we need to do, and this needs to be the transfer policy of the Arsenal.
The thing is, we spoke about this, me, Jess, Harry, GunSlingerz, we spoke about this, right? And it's like in 2016, Liverpool they had a similar window like this. It's like kind of your bread and butter window. And then after that, like a season after, that was when they did like Van Dijk and Alisson. That was the bacon. That was after they had kind of like hollowed out the foundation, then they did the bacon, and then that was it. That's when you saw the transformative part happen. And I think maybe that's why we held back a bit in this window, because we might, I think there was that window where in January, these guys went in for Van Dijk a week before the window.
That's right. They got Van Dijk in the January window.
And I think what we're going to do is assess the lay of the land in January. And I genuinely think there's a signing in January for us to do.
You know what? I'd like us to be this kind of forthright in the sense that we kind of, if we are doing well come January, we still buy someone.
Yeah.
In that midfield, challenging for that central midfield position, or that striker's position or whatever. Guys, what I want to do is, because obviously we've got 2 of our members, Gums and Silver Fox, who are out. but they did pre-record something for us. So I'm going to let Gumza go first, really. So let's see what Gums had to say on the actual topic himself.
Evening, my guys. Evening, Canners and the crew. Hope you're all good. Missing you today, but the boys have got FA Youth Cup, so I'll be down there this evening. So come on the Basingstoke. But yeah, with regards to the window, I definitely think it's a window for the future. So I get why people are questioning it. It's a lot of money we spent, but I think you'll see the results of this window in 2 years' time. So started off fixing up some of the problem areas for backup rather than the 11. So Lokonga and Nuno Tavares, very good signings in my opinion. Definitely ones for the future, but can come in straight away and play and have a positive impact on the team. So, and then Tomiyasu, he's the one I'm looking forward to the most, if I'm honest. I've been not happy with our right back situation for a long time. He doesn't look like the profile right back, which we was ideally looking for. But actually, I think he gives us different options. Again, equally could slot into the free if need be. If we went free at the back, and he's probably a bit more comfortable in Chambers there. He's very good on both feet, surprisingly good on both feet. So again, we do come inside quite a lot. And if you remember, Bellerin always cuts back and goes back to the centre back. So actually, him with comfortable on his left foot might be able to come inside and pick a cutting ball to the midfielder or the striker. So he gives us option. He's very tidy in tight spaces as well. Players around him, he's comfortable on the ball and he gets out of trouble a lot. So I'm quite excited to see him. I think he might be the surprise of the season. With regards to our season, whether Arteta is there or not at the end of it, it is what it is. I think we just now got to get behind him. This break's come at a great time for us. We can really just take this time and settle down the squad a bit. Players coming back from injury or returning from their pre-seasons and stuff. So we should be in a better position. Hopefully we can have a good run from now till Christmas. So yeah, I'm rating the window 6 out of 10. I don't think we've improved the 11 enough, but actually we may look back in 2 years and think this was a vital window for us going forward. So yeah, let's just get behind the boys now and let's hope we get some good results after the international break. I'm out. Peace.
So love that from Gumza. So Gumza pretty much echoes what you said, James, in the sense that, you know, right now, yeah, you might think it's a little bit underwhelming, but in 2-3 years' time, this could be seen as, you know, someone with, you know, it could be calling Edu the Oracle.
Masterclass. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. We can't tell. Again, I don't know. Including myself and a lot of Arsenal fans, we're blinkered right now because we're pissed off of 8th unsuccessful getting bantered left, right, and centre. Right, I've never been bantered this much in my life.
Yeah,
being a football fan ever, because we're that bad. So
be thankful you didn't have to survive the Rioch years.
Yeah,
I had to survive the Terry Neal and Don Howe years.
Oh Lord. Lord have mercy.
Yeah, that's because I'm not that old like you guys, but anyway. I mean, I don't know. We'll see. I'm Edu and Arteta are still on fraud watch, but in 2 years' time, then we'll see.
Watch, you mean? Yeah. What was that thing when they used to go after, you know, cowboy kind of like workmen and everything? There was that program,
Cowboy Builders.
Cooks About or something like that, or whatever it was. Seriously, they're on that watch. I swear. You might see them on that program soon enough. Let's hear from our man, you know, Mr. Silver Fox, because always like to have his view. Let's go. What's he saying, Mr. Fox?
Yes, Canners. Cheers, boys. My 2 pennies worth on the whole. Look back on the transfer window. Underwhelming would be the word. Through them very, very quickly now, I feel. So Tavares and Lokonga, our first 2 signs, it was early, it looked very promising. We looked like players were going to go out the door. We were thinking to ourselves, do you know what, this could be the window. Takiro Tomiyasu, look, for me, he's not a right back. He is not a right back. He's definitely a centre back, and looks like a very good centre back actually. I'll be honest, I've not watched him. I haven't watched Bologna. I haven't even watched him for Japan. So what I've seen online and from the profile, he's both-footed. I mean, that's something you want from a centre back. He hasn't got a preferred foot, but apparently it's both, and that's what you want. He's strong in the air. That's his biggest strength. He's good at blocking. He's good at tackling. Not so good going forward, which is why I've convinced myself he's not a right back. He can't cross the ball. Well, at least he's not very good at crossing the ball. And he's not the quickest. but defensively he looks very, very strong. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see how much we play him, because I think he could be quite an important player in the future. So I don't know. We'll see how that one pans out. The main issue is we spent over 150 million in this window, and not one of them were really a marquee signing. A signing that was going to sell shirts, get the fans, the players excited. And, obviously us being the highest spenders in the Premier League with no marquee signings. I mean, that's kind of why people are laughing at us, because, there's nothing of the sort. I think Mikel Arteta can turn things around. The answer is simply no. He needs to change something, and he needs to change it very, very quickly. Do I think he can? No, because I think he's very stubborn. You've seen how he's handling situations recently. The players aren't playing for him. I'll try to keep it as short as I can, guys. I've kept you for long enough. Let's go back to the panel and give me your thoughts on what I've mentioned there. And I'll see you guys soon. Take it easy.
So that is our man, Mr. Fox. He's underwhelmed with it all. And I kind of get it. I understand it, because when we did do the business early, we was kind of thinking, and then there's all this stuff came out about 250 mil to spend and all that kind of stuff, and then the rumors about Maddison, etc. I reckon that was a smokescreen for Odegaard, because I think Romano's always said that he was our first choice. Odegaard was, so maybe that they played the Maddison kind of card really to kind of let Real Madrid think that we're not gonna go for him or whatever, and just as King said, wait till the last minute and then make our bid, rather than spending 50 million at the top of the transfer window. We got him for 30 mil. Maybe. But look, listen, I mean, with those two guys there, Fox and Gumza, it's great to have them on and have their thoughts, both varied and balanced discussion there. And I think they're both like Tomiyasu. And let's hope he actually can do something. Listen, Raheem Sterling's obviously just scored for England. What is it, 1-0 now, is it?
Yeah.
1-0,
Yeah. This will be a good result, to be fair, because that crowd are nuts there.
They were absolutely pelting him with missiles and all sorts, man.
Yeah. Straight away, they were booing him and doing the monkey chants as soon as he got the ball at the start of the game, which is disgusting. Mr. Silver Fox kind of I had to put that in just as I thought that was very, very apt.
Trying to claim the credit for my handiwork. Okay, I see how this works.
No, he's talking about when I put Mikel Arteta as a diva after his comment. Yeah, right. That's what I think he's going on about. And James is speaking about when they tried to get Van Dijk in the summer and they made them wait. That was Southampton. Listen, guys, last thoughts really, and I think we're pretty much in agreement in the sense that, as much as it may sound overwhelming, it's different to previous seasons. Maybe we've got a more balanced squad this year. Time will tell. James, anything to add at all?
I think let's just hope Arteta can pull it out of the bag. Let's see if we can do better than we have currently. I think we're looking in the right direction. If we can do what we need to do, if we can get Europe, I don't predict top 4, but if we can get Europe and we can spend big, as King said, I want Basuma, all of these types of players, right?
Give it to us, King. Next goal.
Look, I don't care if he plays for the Trophy Dodgers. Let's big him up anyway.
Okay, Harry Kane. Sorry, James. Sorry.
But no, it's all good. I lost my train of thought there. No, but I think everyone just needs to realize no matter who comes in, our squad is in a position where if we can get it right, like a Ten Hag, like a Luis Enrique, this kind of thing, we're in a good position. Yeah.
No, I think, do you know what? You're too young to remember this, James.
If it's before 99, I ain't remembering anything.
Yeah, and King, you probably were definitely too young to remember this as well. But I remember when George Graham first came in, and he got rid of a whole load of divas in our team. From your Charlie Nicholases, Kenny Sampson, some of the central defenders, and brought in players like your Niall Quinn, Paul Merson, Mark Thomas, David Rocastle, and then sprinkled it with a bit of Brian Marwood, Martin Hayes, all those kind of things. None of them were big signings. I remember something nuts. We bought Brian Marwood for about 500,000, and he was wicked. He was absolutely brilliant in that. Rest in peace, Rocastle, man. Listen, so that was a bloody young team, but they did have some outstanding players, young players, i.e. your Tony Adams. You had your players like Viv Anderson, I remember. So you had your young players sprinkled with experience as well. Let's see what happens. King, anything more? Any other business from you, sir? Come on, give us your last thoughts.
My last thoughts as well is it's interesting that you brought that up. Obviously, some of those players were a bit before my time. I think, we won our first trophy. I was born in 83, so in 4 years old, 87. I remember
87. Listen, I was going nuts.
Yeah, the League Cup, man. And then after that, we did the league. So we didn't see the results straight away from what George Graham did. We saw it after a year or two. So this is one of those not right now. This is one of those tomorrow windows. And look, we're going to go for a bit of pain this season. I'm going to be honest. I'm going to be brutally honest. These guys are going to have to learn. They are being forged in the fire, literally. But that is what you want. It's not going to be good for them right now. Going into next season, they're going to be strong, and then we're going to add a bit more on top of that. But I think next summer we won't need 5 or 6 players. Next summer it'll be a case of get rid of 3 or 4, bring in 1 or 2, 3 maximum, and then we can really be a bit more refined in who we're bringing in terms of the quality and the cost. And what that we can spare for one per head, so to say, is going to be far greater. And also, you're going to have more experienced youngsters. The other thing that I want to point out as well, right, is we talked about there not being leaders in the team. At the moment, there isn't. But Odegaard is the captain of Norway. Tierney has captained, I believe he's captained Scotland. He's definitely captained Scotland.
Xhaka's captain Switzerland.
Lokonga, Anderlecht.
Lokonga, Anderlecht, and Xhaka. So, if Xhaka goes next season, these guys, they start having a good season. We're already talking about Tierney being captain material.
Yep.
But definitely these guys coming in. Look, Lokonga has a good season. We put him in that conversation. And I tell you something right now, when we lost against Brentford, and Xhaka was the captain, and Xhaka walked off, and didn't do the post-match interview, but Lokonga did. I mean, fair enough, he's a new signing. He wants to speak to the press. He's done his press conference. He's already said his piece. The fact that he chose to speak after you've just lost to a championship team on your debut, right, where it's not been good enough, and you stand up and you be counted, this is the hallmark of things to come, man. This is these are the future leaders emerging from this team. And I love to see it. That's the thing. All right, we can't go out and just buy an 80, 90 million pound player that can be our captain. But you know what? We can develop some. We can start developing.
Soon enough, I think we will get to that point, because I just remember so many years ago, we was maybe 1 or 2 players away from actually doing amazing things. There's always so many seasons, 1 or 2 players. We could all see it. Just buy a proper, when we had Giroud as a striker, just buy a proper striker.
When Leicester won the league,
Do you know what I'm saying? Just we could all see it. But look, guys, listen. I just want to say this was a great chat with you guys. I mean, some great points there. The guys Silver Fox and Gumsy also chipped in there and had some great input there and insight. As ever, King. Blessed, brother. James, bro, thank you again. Listen, on Sunday, FTB Sports, you have the Premier League round. Oh, sorry, no, not the Premier League round. It's the England reaction. I think England are playing Sunday. I believe is it. I'll have to get that. I have to get that right, and I'll put it in the description below. But anyway, listen, England are winning. Harry Kane and Raheem Sterling. So well done. Let Harry Kane have a nice little ankle injury now. That would be nice. And
That was 2-footed as fuck, man. Wow.
That'll do it. Really, we won the game now. Someone give him a little kind of like ankle ligament injury. That would be nice. But listen, guys, now I don't want to.
Slabhead just got another one.
Who scored?
I think it's Slabhead.
Bro, I'm delayed. I'm delayed by like 2 minutes. Everyone's like, "Yeah, Slabhead scores." I'm delayed.
Big up the Man United agenda. Big up Paxton Road, obviously, because your boys have come through tonight. We like to see it.
Bless, brilliant, guys. It's been brilliant. It's been emotional, and I tell you what. Look, listen, man. I think we're looking up. We are looking up, literally. Guys, thank you very much. This is GunSlingerz. We out.